Yo, how's it going, guys? I got 7 new number ones that came out this week, and hey, I'm about to review them. Let's check them out. Let's start off with Basket Full of Heads, Dark Multiverse, The Death of Superman, That Fantastic Four Grand Design, Joker Killer Smile, The Last Gods, Marvel Zombies, and Sandman Universe presents Hellblazer. So let's get it started. All right, so Basket Full of Heads. Now, this is a book I've been anticipating for a pretty long time because we finally got DC's Black Label, which is like their mature rating label, teaming up with Joe Hill from Hill House Comics to come out with DC's first like horror story for the Black Label. That's not in the whole Batman universe. It's its own unique story. And if you don't know Joe Hill, I believe he's Stephen King's son. So I'm pretty sure you know who Stephen King is. But all right, now let's dive into that story. So when you first open up this book, you get a panel of this guy or female, we don't know who, walking down a bridge with a basket, and it looks like there's heads in there and they're talking to each other, and their little back and forth conversation kind of made me laugh. I'm like, all right, this is starting off good. And now this is going to be the future, and then the book takes place before these events, and we still haven't caught up to these events at the end of the book, but this is kind of like setting up the story. And then it's kind of funny though, actually, because when you flip that first page, they have this giant splash page that I have over here. It says Basket Full of... This should have been a C cover exclusive variant, because this cover... This would have been awesome. I kind of like this more than that Middleton, actually. But nonetheless, moving forward. So the story takes place in this town of Shawshank, kind of like Shawshank Redemption, or if you're watching Castle Hill, Shawshank. You know, I actually haven't seen Shawshank Redemption, so I shouldn't talk about that. But anyway, yeah, so we have this female, young girl, about 19, 20. Then we have this other officer, kind of a junior officer. Maybe they're in their late teens or early 20s, and they're kind of going back and forth, flirting on the bridge, and he just got off work. And then it's just kind of like a lot of back and forth dialogue, almost meaningless and pointless. It kind of is showing their personalities in a way. You know, there was a lot of talk about this being a Netflix HBO show, and I kind of see that when I'm reading this, because it doesn't feel like a comic. It feels more like I'm writing like the pilot of a first episode. Anyway, he's driving and he comes across, there's a bunch of prisoners that broke out of Shawshank prison. Anyway, the police chief is talking to him like, hey, don't need to worry, still come to my house tonight for dinner, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have a good time. And so, you know, they go to his house. But they didn't catch all the prisoners. There's still 2 people on the run, and hey, they do come back. Now, they go to this guy's house, or this woman's house, and it's a big, beautiful house, and there's actually some really bad artwork in this book, and I'll highlight some poses. I just don't understand it. I feel like they could have went a completely different route with the artwork. You know, in the beginning of the book, the art was kind of good, and then it kind of just slowly started getting almost lazy in a way. I'm not a professional artist, so I couldn't say. I just got to say, hey, man, pick it up. But you know, that's just my 2 cents. Let me know, did you guys like the artwork? And comment down below. Let me know. Let me know. Maybe I need an art school educational class. But anyway, I thought this book was pretty good. And hey, those 2 criminals do come in at the end. And we noticed that in this house, there's a lot of Norse mythology. Like the people, they're collectors. They don't collect comics, but they collect like old relics from like the 8th and 9th century. And one of the relics is an old axe, which is, I'm assuming this axe that we have in the cover, that they're going to be using this axe to be chopping people's heads off, and then they're going to stay alive. So that's kind of crazy. But I mean, you know, a little bit of foreshadowing. I could see maybe they're going to use this axe to kill those 2 criminals, and then that's going to go to the beginning of this book when they were on the bridge dumping the heads off the bridge. But that's just what I think. Let me know. Do you have any foreshadowing for this book? And are you going to pick up the next issue? I think I am. All right, the next book is going to be Tales from the Dark Multiverse, The Death of Superman, where it starts off with this Tempest guy, and he's over here looking through the giant multiverse, all these different dimensions, and trying to find out, you know, where he's going to... I don't know. I don't even know what the hell this guy's looking for, man. I don't know. Maybe he explained it, but I don't remember. Anyway, he goes into a universe where we had the classic tale of when Superman dies, you know, that big book, The Death of Superman. But then we got Superman dead, and we got Lois hugging him, and she's hurt. She's upset, you know, because damn, her man just died. Then she goes down and she meets this Eradicator guy who he's like the last savior of Krypton, and he failed Superman, and or Clark or Kal-El. I was going to say Kakarot, but that's a whole different universe. But anyway, he goes and he gives his powers, I guess, to Lois, and then she instantly has some type of suit with an S on her chest. I don't know how that happened, but I mean, it looks kind of cool. And you know, it is a one shot, so they got to rush a lot of things. I don't know. This whole Eradicator guy, I don't know too much about him. I would kind of like to see like more of him, you know, because he seems like a badass. Anyway, she's going around and she's had it up to here because, you know, the man she loves, Superman, the protector of all good and mighty, is gone from evil. And so she's going, hey, you over there, Lex Luthor, you're dead. hey, you Joker, you're dead. You know, she don't really give a damn. She's just killing everybody. But actually, in the beginning of the book, the Eradicator took Superman's body and tried to put him in some hyperbolic time chamber to try to heal his wounds. And then towards the end of the book, Superman makes a great return. And in this triumphant return, he's killed by who? Lois Lane, the Eradicator. I don't really know what her true name is, but then it's kind of like she died. She had Superman die the first time by the hands of evil, and he died by the second time the hands of evil, but it was her hands of evil. So yeah, if you haven't picked this book up, you probably should have, because it's not really that good. It could have been way better. I liked what they did with the last multiverse book that came out with Batman breaking his back. This one, I wasn't too much a fan of. There was some cool art panels, and I was digging it. And I could have seen a little bit, maybe there's more stories of this type of Lois Lane. I don't know, I felt a little bit too rushed and a little bit too If you did read this, let me know what you think down below. Okay, so this next book, Fantastic Four, Grand Design. I went ahead and got the Ed Piskor cover, that homage to Dark Knight Returns. I got it right here. Pretty damn good. But I mean, I cannot even, I think maybe if I had 20 minutes, I could elaborate on this book. But this book seems to be like panel porn galore. And by that, I just mean that there's so many damn panels. And not that it's a bad thing at all. I mean, there's so many freaking stories in this book for $5.99, and it looks so damn cool. Like we got 1 or 2 pages of origins, and then it jumps over to another story, and then another story, and it really is pretty damn cool. You know, maybe if you're not a Fantastic Four fan, you might not like this, or if you don't like this type of old styley comics, you might not be into this. But you know, it's pretty cool. And at the end, they had the like additional reading, and it actually breaks down all the pages and what stories those pages fall into. For instance, like in page 2, it has Galactus devouring worlds first appearance. And yeah, it was pretty good. Let me know down below. Did you pick this up? Did you actually get a chance to read this? Because this is a pretty damn long read. And if you did, which covers did you get? Because I'm kind of rethinking that A cover, but I like the Ed Piskor cover. All right, now this next book coming out by Jeff Lemire, Joker Killer Smile. It's actually one of these magazine big ass books. I don't understand why they're so big. I don't know why DC's doing this with their Black Label. Let me know down below. Are you enjoying these Black Label books? Because they're so damn big. Not all of them, but some of them, and I have nowhere to put them. Anyway, let's get back into the story. So it starts off with all these balloons, and I'm like, hey, what are all these balloons for? And then of course they pop, and then everyone gets the Joker laugh, and it's like typical Joker stuff. I will say it's pretty cool when Batman jumps in and he punches him in the face. That whole panel on the top is punch, and then it's like a transparent through, and you can see him punching it through the words. I thought that was pretty clever and very nice. And then it goes back to Joker being in Arkham Asylum yet again, talking to another therapist or psychologist or somebody trying to get into his brain yet again. And you know, Joker's like, hey, you know, what are you even writing down for, blah blah blah, like you can't. And the guy's like, look, I'm not even writing anything down, I'm doodling. Like, we already know what's wrong with you. Anyway, this book kind of starts to go into a direction where it's more about the guy trying to treat the Joker and say, hey, if we could cure this guy, then we could set a foundation for curing other criminally insane criminals. And that's pretty much what the book is about. You know, we got this guy asking him so many questions about like, hey, how did you make the laughing fish? Are you have a background in chemistry? And then Joker's like, you want to hear my origin story? Everybody wants to hear his origin story. It's always different every single time, man. It's like, why are we even doing a book like that right now? Like, there's 100 million different things we could be doing a Joker book about, and I don't want to see Joker and Arkham talking to a doctor. Like, it wasn't good to me. I don't think this is a book I'm going to continue to pick up, especially these big ass Black Label books. Let me know down below. Is this a book that you're interested in? And hey, maybe I'm just getting Joker overload, because we've been getting so many damn Joker and Batman books that I've had enough to hear. Now, I know I just talked about a DC Black Label book, but this DC Black Label book, The Last Gods, is actually something very refreshing from DC. Finally. So it is a DC Black Label book, but it's a regular size book, so you can put it in your short or your long box. You're not gonna have some nifty difty big old magazine box to put this in. And then looking at this book, the cover work and the A and the B cover, it both had this fantasy like appeal, like Elder Scrolls or one of those Norse mythology type of stories. And the artwork looked really damn good. And you know, we always get these amazing pieces of artwork on the cover, and then you open it and it's like, man, what a bait and switch. But this book is like, that cover could have been part of the interior of the book. The art throughout the entire book is fantastic. Now, I don't want to spoil this book. I do want to drop a little bit of the panels and a little bit of the pages so you can get a feel for the book. If you're interested in getting it, I recommend you do. They have a team of all these different people, and they actually break down who they are and like their spells or abilities. Kind of like if you ever played World of Warcraft, you have different classes and different races, and it's kind of like, I'm not too sure who I gravitate towards more, who I enjoy more, but it's cool seeing this come out of DC Comics, because I don't think I've ever seen a fantasy sexy like this before. And I will, so when you're reading this, pay attention, because you know, if you're thinking about something else, you're gonna get lost in this book a little bit. But yeah, this is one that after issue 2, if I'm digging issue 2, I think I'm gonna continue picking up the 3 and 4, because I think it's only a 4-part miniseries. But hey, if this is that good, we might see like a volume 2 of this, and hey, I'm down for that. Marvel Zombies Resurrected. All right, that's my zombie impression. I'm not that very good with zombies, but hey, we got Marvel Zombies, dude, making a comeback. You know, I'm sure it has nothing to do with the major success of DC's. But anyway, if you're interested in this book, let me give you a little rundown. So it starts off with the Fantastic Four gathering like the X-Men and everybody and bringing them all together, like the Avengers and, you know, all the Marvel big old team up heroes. And they're like, hey, you know, we got a distress call from Captain Marvel, and it looks like freaking Galactus is dead. Like he's just chilling, floating in outer space. And so we're gonna jump on a spaceship and we're gonna go check it out. And man, might I say that ship approaching Galactus and seeing Galactus in the dead of night, well, I guess in the dead of space, being dead is kind of cool. It's pretty damn cool, man. Now it was a little bit, I don't understand this. I hope somebody in the comments can break it down below, because I'm very confused about this. They get to Galactus and they're in space. They're wearing spacesuits. They can't breathe in space. And yet they land on like his mouth that's open. And then they just take off their masks. Like Wolverine just takes off his helmet and starts sniffing. Like, what are you sniffing? There's no air, dude. You're in outer space. And he's like, oh, that's something smells fishy. And then we got the Human Torch, and he's like lighting fireball. How are you making fire in space? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, they realize that the energy inside of Galactus is being pinpointed to different parts. Like somebody's controlling Galactus, and Galactus actually isn't sitting steadily by. He's actually moving, like they're using him as a ship. And then it's unveiled that Captain Marvel is a zombie that talks and is knowledgeable. And I'm just like, what? What happened to brains? Like that's not it at all. Like they're like, hey, you know, you messed up. We're different. We're not like we used to be. And then like she attacks Wolverine, and then everybody, the Avengers, Fantastic Four, everybody's fighting, and that's pretty cool. Then Thor tries to fly out to War Machine, but right before that, he gets attacked and he turns into a zombie, and then he blows up the whole ship, because the ship was supposed to destroy Galactus in case something catastrophic was on there. And spoiler alert, there was something catastrophic on there. Freaking zombies. And then the story ends with Galactus going headfirst into Earth like a freaking meteor or a missile. Like, wouldn't this cause a massive chain of events and just destroy the world? Like, this is like a one shot. I am very curious to see how they're gonna pull off an issue number 2 or 3, because this should literally, theoretically, wipe out all existence on Earth. So I don't understand. There's so many like little things that just don't make any sense and seem a little bit dumb. Now, I'm not comparing this to DC's because they're both completely different, but I will say I kind of like this. I think the whole Galactus thing was pretty damn cool, except for that ending. It was very shocking. I didn't expect it, but I don't see anything transpiring after this unless there's like parallel universes. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. What did you think about this book? All right, now this was a one-shot. This Sandman, Hellblazer, the whole universe with John Constantine, and I never read anything like this before. Like, I'm familiar with John Constantine, and I'm familiar with the Sandman universe and everything. I just haven't actually read it and engulfed myself in it. So this is like my first eye-opening to it, if you would. And hey, some of this artwork is freaking awesome, dude. You know, it kind of shows John Constantine, kind of shows him as a dick, dude. Like, he sends someone to their death thinking they have a bomb and they're going to save the day by blowing up the bad guys. But spoiler alert, it's not a bomb. He just wrote a bunch of scribble on a pig's head, and then he went with the guy literally he killed himself for no reason. Like the monster came and destroyed him, and there was no bomb, no atomic missile. And he's like, shit, dude, I'm sorry, dude. It just, you know, that's what's gonna happen, dude. And then anyway, so he gets a visit, because he's literally about to die, by someone from the future, but it's not a demon. It reminded me of like Supernatural or Crossroad Demon, because the guy's like, hey, I could save you, but I need your soul. And he's like, well, you're not a demon. Who the hell are you? And then he figures out it's him from like the future or from a parallel universe. And he must have lost his soul somehow. And the only way he could get back his soul is to take this type of guy's soul, because they both have the same soul. And then he winds up giving him his soul. But yeah, that's pretty much this book in a nutshell. If I could sum that up, there was a lot of stuff in this that I was unfamiliar with, and I want to dive into this, because I know in the November 27th, There's gonna be a mini series that comes out with John Constantine and the Sandman universe. I think it's under the Black Label for DC. I'm not sure, but I mean, like, the artwork inside was pretty damn good. So let me know down below. Is this something that you're interested in? Is this something you actually read? And what were your thoughts on it? And if you guys actually stuck around for this entire video, I appreciate that very much. Make sure to comment down below. Make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to share it on some of your social media sites or share some of my other videos, because I'm so close to 1,000 mark and I feel like I've been putting out some pretty good content. I hope you guys have been enjoying it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.